Man, it's not even June yet, and we still got to deal with all of this crazy nonsense. Attorney General Letitia James, I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's more respect than she's really due. This is the same lady who tried valiantly in order to indict Trump on his business practices are so bad in New York. It's like you campaigned on that stuff, okay? It's not something you're supposed to do. But then you got to office, and yeah, you didn't end up following through on that. So good stuff on that. So what did she decide to do? Well, host a drag story hour for kids in New York City. Yep, they're coming for your kids. And now, instead of just compiling and putting all of that degeneracy into June, now they'll just spread it out through the rest of the year, because we're now living in the not just the month, not just the year, the decade of decadence when it comes to all of this alphabet mafia nonsense. New York Attorney General Letitia James is set to host a drag story hour for children in Manhattan this weekend. Yay! And the event is sparking outrage over the use of taxpayer money. So guess what? Any person that's left in New York, you guys lost two? At least one. I think it was two House seats, because people are fleeing the place for these woke type policies. But hey, guess what? Anybody who's left, you're funding this stuff directly. It sucks to suck for a already controversial event. James and a string of fellow elected Democrats, city and state leaders plan to attend Sunday's event at the West Village, where, of course, in the West Village, families with children, single mothers, because that's always what turns up in these crowds, or just beta bitch boys that are just sitting on the sidelines going, oh, yes, I don't want to upset my queen. You have no fucking frame in their relationship, and then it just ends up bringing, Tyrone's kid that you're looking after to go stuff singles in some dude's G-string. Fucking embarrassments. The AG's March 19th event is co-sponsored by Drag Story Hour New York City. And can we just... Yeah, fuck it, I'll say it. Can we just classify all of these stupid drag story hours as terrorist groups? Because they're ruining kids' developments. Okay, just putting a bunch of fucking nonsense in their head when it comes to, oh, what's sexuality? It's like, why do you want to talk about sex with kids, you perverts? Well, I know exactly why you're trying to do it. It's just stop being so overt about it. Just go back to the panel vans and just lurking around playgrounds, okay? Fucking stay 200 meters away from every school. Knock on every door whenever you have to move into a new neighborhood, and stop putting on fucking makeup and think that that's acceptable to be around everybody else's kids, you dead-end degenerates. Office is so proud to host a drag story hour readathon. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of reading and not a bunch of haram stretching and thongs, you bunch of perverts. Yay, great. There's a dude with a mental illness holding up a fucking picture book with a bunch of gay spirits inside. How fantastic. That's about, well, actually, that's fairly apropos given the fact that, 40% of them end up that way. News of the event sparked immediate backlash on Twitter, with some claiming New York's tax dollars were hard at work grooming kids. Well, when you're right, you're right. Why? Why? What is the purpose of government-funded drag queens for children? How much time do you have to teach tolerance? BS. Matt Anter, the New York Young Republican Club's finance chairman, tweeted, "A drag is a profession, not a type of person. A profession where adult men do exaggerated female impersonations, often scantily clad with sexual themes. This is not the way." Oh, fuck. This is one of those fruitcakes that actually looks forward to the Mandalorian. Suck a dick. Or just kill two birds with one stone. Go to Drag Queen Story Hour. You can accomplish both. Conservative influencer Ashley St. Clair, yeah, one of those trad thoughts, also chimed in, tweeting, "The family-friendly event will take place at the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Community Center. Your tax dollars are hard at work grooming kids." And probably post some fucking sundress and flumpy hat picture right after that. "I'm a trad wife, but you're unmarried in your late 20s. Very interesting. How do you square that circle?" Steve Cortez, a former spokesperson for Trump's campaign, added, "This kind of explicit targeting of children is just evil. Yay, more emotional arguments instead of just asking the question, why do you have these obviously sexualized performers in close proximity to kids? What do kids need to be learning at a young age? Sexuality is not exactly in the top 15,000 things that they should be considering." But yes, just label it as evil, so that the other side of the argument can just call you religious zealots, and then nothing ultimately ends up getting accomplished. Just like that stupid Matt Walsh document. Oh, what? Or not document, documentary. Oh, what is a woman? You don't want an answer, do you? You just want to continue to grift off of the question. Just like what they're doing right here. Ban this fucking shit. Protest the fuck out of it. Make all of these creeps uncomfortable. Go ahead and do that. Unless, of course, you're in Calgary, which I'm going to pull up that, which makes me just sick to my fucking stomach. Yo, peek this. I've got nothing but love for Calgary. It's such a beautiful city, but it's just run by idiots. The former mayor that was there, he laid all the groundwork for this because now they got a new progressive female mayor who's just putting in wonderful bylaws. And this is a place where all of the major oil and gas companies have their headquarters. Like, it's a pretty based city in general. But the Calgary mayor, raging liberal, I guess, threatens to fine protesters after drag event is canceled. City will leverage street harassment bylaw for hate-motivated protests. This is the CBC after all, and they're not giving you the complete picture. What is it exactly? There's the mayor right there, looking exactly like what you think it was. Just a liberal white woman trying to enforce all of her values. You need to be tolerant. You can't be hateful. The only people that you can be hateful is against straight white men. That's what she's trying to do there, for keeping their kids safe, for keeping other children safe. Recently, drag story times and all-ages drag events in Calgary and across the country have been targeted by opponents, most vocal of whom are largely members of alt-right groups. See, of course, this is what we get. This is what my tax dollars are going directly towards. So yeah, while New York tax dollars are going directly to fund the shows, I'm out here to push all the propaganda that the only people that don't want to have a bunch of dudes with mental deficiencies dressed up in stripper attire to just shake their ass and dick and balls in front of a bunch of kids. No. You're part of alt-right, which I've never seen CBC ever define exactly what alt-right is in today's day and age. Like, who the fuck ascribes to alt-right ideology in 2023? Fuck's sakes, that wasn't even popular back in 2016 when all of this shit kicked up. Like, yo, these fucking woke idiots, they just never update their own programming. Unless it's something specifically about whatever NPC update they're on, they never ever evolve. Fucking dorks. But yeah, while it's getting enshrined in places like New York and Calgary to a lesser extent, Alberta at large, at least for the time being, until we end up getting embarrassed in the elections in May. I think there is one for the provincial level. Danielle Smith is so fucking based. I hope she sticks around, but chances are, especially with places like fucking Calgary pushing all this dumb stuff, if Danielle Smith wants to start to champion all these culture war issues, that would be great and fantastic, because she's done really good when it comes to rolling back all the coup proficiencies. But this isn't supposed to be about Canada. This is supposed to be about, weird drag people, and then this story just kind of triggered some memories. But yeah, Calgary's lost, New York's lost, but you know where isn't? Fucking Arkansas, being based as a motherfucker, even though it's probably the least smashable person that's putting on all of these events. Let's keep it a buck. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders set to restrict drag shows. Fucking based, bro. Whatever people want to do in their own time, grown adults want to do in their own time, fucking go for it. Drag was always looked down at, and it's like, oh, those weirdos that are over there. It's like, you fucking stay over there, Dame Edna and bunch of fucking weirdos. You guys just go, leave, bye. It's fucking gross. And that used to be fine. Okay, whatever you want to do in the privacy of your own home. It's like, I'm not a big fan of strip clubs, but we don't have strip clubs in the middle of public squares. We don't have government funded strip shows, because I couldn't imagine anything more embarrassing than a government funded stripper. But then again, Justin Trudeau's pretty bad. Anyways, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is set to ban drag shows from public property in the state. Round of applause. This is a big move right here. So public property in the state, so that would be any public parks, and then also I would imagine schools as well, because that would be under the purview of the state as well. So fucking God bless. A move that she says will protect children and is controversial only to the radical left's woke dystopia. Need more buzzwords into that sentence there, sweetheart. The Republican governor is poised to sign a bill that would define drag shows as adult-oriented performances. Yeah, exactly. Well, they might exist. They fucking don't. The idea that there could be a drag show that isn't specifically sexual in its presentation, I have yet to see any examples. They might exist, but chances are, more than likely not. Which passed in the State House panel Wednesday. And calls for such shows to be banned from public property, the Arkansas Democrat Gazette reported. That's weird. I think we have to do everything. I've been very clear and talked about this pretty extensively to protect children. I think that, that's what this bill does, Sanders said last month. Well, you're supposed to be signing it into law. Wouldn't you think you'd want to know a little bit more than, well, I just kind of think that does it. At least you didn't say, I feel like it does it, because that would make me sick to my stomach. Sanders spokeswoman, Alexa Henning, told Washington Post that the bill is not aimed at banning anything. Well, I would take it a step further, but that's why I'm not governor. But it's about protecting kids from being exposed to sexually explicit drag shows. Like, you can take a look right there, and you can take a look at all of the men that are there, if you want to call them that. A bunch of boss babes and single mothers that are right there, just leading their kids down the path of degeneracy, just putting them on the path to sadness and big pharma and government dependency. Yep, just go ahead and take all of that at face value. Wear your mask. Listen to the dude with a fucking complex. Don't ask any questions. Just listen to the guy who rolled up in a panel van that says free candy on the side of it. Only the radical left's woke dystopia is not appropriate to protect kids, she told the newspaper. The bill defines a drag show as somebody dancing, singing, and lip-syncing to an audience of 2 or more people while using a different gender identity than the one given at birth. Sounds like a pretty decent catch-all. The performers using clothing actually, you know what? If there's a music teacher that decides to transition, you could theoretically place that under that, and I'm totally all for that. No more fucking head cases teaching kids. Performers using clothing, makeup, and accessories that are traditionally worn by members of and are meant to exaggerate the gender identity of the performer's opposite sex. Oh, phooey. Democrat Senator Clark Tucker has slammed the bill as unconstitutional. Why, you fucking groomer? The truth is, the bill is not about governing, it's about bullying. Nah. Republican Representative Mary Bentley has said that the intent of the bill is not to target trans people or theatrical shows. I wish it was. Such as, it's a joke, you fucking idiots. The Broadway production Tootsie. Sorry, what? But to protect kids from sexually explicit performances, the Gazette reported. Yeah, that's why the little disclaimer there as well. It's like, if you're going to be highly sexualized and try to get in front of kids, no, that shit, you get drug out in handcuffs. We know that you like that. Just try not to come in your underwear before we just drag you out. But to me, with all of this fucking nonsense that's out there on the horizon, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Something that if, Sarah Huckabee Sanders wants to be around the governor's office for much longer, should probably continue to make a couple more steps in the right direction. But that's just me. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.